Skip Bayless, the unfiltered and ever-passionate sports commentator, recently went off on NFL legend Tom Brady in what he called the biggest shame ever of his career. The outburst came after Brady made the controversial decision to pass on quarterback Shedeur Sanders during the 2025 NFL Draft, a choice Bayless described as incomprehensible and personally devastating. The fiery analyst claimed that the snub not only stunned fans but also challenged his credibility as someone who has dedicated decades to evaluating talent and dissecting football strategy. Bayless opened his segment with an emotional recount of his reaction when the news broke. "I couldn't believe it," he said. "I've covered football for over 30 years, analyzing every prospect, every quarterback coming out of college. And to see Brady pass on Shedeur Sanders, it was like being punched in the gut. Honestly, it's my biggest shame. I didn't see it coming, and I feel like I let everyone down." According to Bayless, Sanders was a once-in-a-generation talent, blending poise, arm strength, and leadership in a way that made him an immediate NFL-ready quarterback. "This wasn't a player you needed to develop slowly," Bayless argued. "He could step in and command a team, read defenses at a professional level, make accurate throws under pressure, and elevate those around him. To pass on that? Unthinkable." Bayless went on to highlight Sanders' college achievements, underscoring the quarterback's clutch performances, advanced football IQ, and maturity on and off the field. "You can teach mechanics and schemes, but leadership and decision-making? That's innate. Sanders has it in spades," he said. "Missing out on him wasn't just a draft mistake, it was a lapse in judgment so severe it shook me to my core as an analyst." He further explained that Brady's decision carries long-term consequences beyond one draft pick. Bayless suggested the snub could affect team performance, fan engagement, and even how Brady is remembered as an executive and leader. "Every draft decision sends ripples through the league," Bayless stated. "A quarterback like Sanders can define a franchise for years. To pass on him leaves you with what ifs and regrets that linger for decades, not just for the team, but for everyone who loves football." Bayless also admitted that part of his anger stemmed from his role as a media analyst. "I hold myself accountable," he said. "I try to predict draft moves, evaluate talent, and educate fans. Missing this one, that Sanders would be passed over, is my biggest shame. I didn't see it coming, and I feel responsible for the disbelief it caused." Social media erupted in response to Bayless' remarks. Many fans agreed with his assessment, emphasizing Sanders' combination of accuracy, poise, and leadership as reasons he should have been a top selection. Others defended Brady, noting that draft decisions are complex and involve considerations such as scheme fit, long-term planning, and character evaluation. Bayless, however, remained unyielding. He cited specific examples from Sanders' college career, including late-game heroics, precision under pressure, and his ability to elevate teammates, all traits that made him a franchise-altering talent. "This is a quarterback who lifts everyone around him," Bayless said. "You can teach arm mechanics, but you can't teach poise, vision, and the ability to read a defense on the fly. Sanders has it all, and Brady ignored it. That's not just a mistake, it's a betrayal to everyone invested in the sport." Bayless didn't spare the media either, criticizing analysts who supported Brady's choice. "We are supposed to be experts," he said. "We are meant to break down film, project players, and recognize talent. Yet many overlooked Sanders entirely. It's not analysis, it's negligence." He also addressed the emotional stakes involved. For Bayless, quarterbacks like Sanders are more than draft picks, they represent potential, opportunity, and the future of the league. "It's someone's life and career on the line," he said. "Watching Sanders get passed over was heartbreaking. It's my biggest shame not because I misjudged his talent, but because I didn't anticipate how monumental this decision would be and couldn't warn fans or analysts in time." Bayless further reflected on the broader lessons from the incident. He argued that accountability, honesty, and thorough evaluation are critical in professional sports. "One pick can define a franchise," he emphasized. "And a quarterback like Sanders, that's a franchise-defining talent. Passing on him, that's why I call this my biggest shame. It's a lesson in preparation, judgment, and accountability that we cannot ignore." Despite the criticism, Bayless acknowledged the silver lining. The draft snub provides Sanders with motivation to prove the doubters wrong. "This kid has a chip on his shoulder now," Bayless said. "Being passed over by Brady doesn't diminish him, it fuels him. If he channels this disappointment into his game, he could prove everyone wrong and show that he was worth every bit of hype." The controversy surrounding Brady and Sanders has reignited discussions about the pressures of NFL draft decisions. Analysts continue to project potential impacts, while fans debate the implications on team success and league history. For Bayless, the matter is intensely personal, reflecting his commitment to the integrity of talent evaluation and his deep passion for the game. Bayless' emotional response also highlights the human element in professional sports. Drafts are more than strategic moves, they shape careers, franchises, and narratives. "This isn't just a draft pick," he said. "It's a story, a potential legacy, a future for someone who earned that chance. Passing on Sanders was a failure to recognize that, and that's why I consider it my biggest shame." Ultimately, Bayless' passionate commentary underscores the high stakes of draft day decisions. While opinions will remain divided on Brady's rationale, Bayless' declaration frames the story as one of talent, accountability, and personal investment. "I'll never forget this," he concluded. "Brady passing on Shedeur Sanders, it's my biggest shame, and it's a reminder of how important every decision is in this league. One moment can define everything." For fans and analysts, the saga is a cautionary tale about expectations, oversight, and the enormous consequences of a single decision. For Sanders, it's motivation to shine. And for Skip Bayless, it's a moment that will resonate as the biggest shame ever in a career devoted to following, analyzing, and loving the game of football.